This is what my dick looks like when it's soft. When the band was on hiatus over the holidays, during Peter's first marriage, he shot the tree out from under his first wife as she decorated it. Kiss was on the covers of all the magazines, but it was often a solo shot only of me, and it was never Peter. This wasn't anything I planned. The press picks up on whoever they pick up on. When we did Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, we took 2 hours to put our makeup on. By that time, Ace and Peter were miserable. First of all, Peter had been involved in yet another car accident. He skidded 400 feet before he crashed, and he wound up in the hospital. When he did speak in the movie, he was impossible to understand because of his thick Brooklyn accent. This is what my dick looks like when it's soft. So, his voice was dubbed by someone else. Even the simple matter of getting Peter and Ace in front of the camera didn't always work out. The only solution was to use doubles. For Peter, we had a 55-year-old guy, and we put makeup on him. The solo project was unprecedented. No other group in history had ever released 4 solo albums simultaneously. After 20-plus years of sales figures, I'm at the top, slightly ahead of Ace, who is slightly ahead of Paul. Peter's sold the least well of the 4. Peter didn't chart. Dynasty was recorded in New York City with Vinnie Poncia, who had been Peter's producer for his solo album, in part to show Peter that we thought well of his record and to bring him back into the fold. By that time, Peter was our biggest liability because he had become dependent on chemicals. Peter was not qualified to make any judgments about material or arrangements. Peter was close to tone deaf and didn't play drums very well. Ironically, Vinnie decided that even though he produced Peter's record, he didn't think Peter was good enough to drum on a Kiss record. Peter then got so upset, either with himself or with the way things were going, and I assume that the chemicals in his system had something to do with it, that he took his fist and smashed it into a glass case so hard that a shard went right through his hand. He had to be taken to a hospital and stitched up. Now there was a question whether there was even going to be a tour. What an idiot. This is what my dick looks like when it's soft. Can you imagine being so upset at anything that you drive your fist through a glass case? Once we started working on Unmasked, it became clear that Peter's chemical problems had become major. We had a discussion with Vinnie Poncia, and he said, "Look, I don't want to use Peter on Unmasked. I want to use Anton Fig." The decision to use a different drummer on the album was just the first step in dealing with Peter. We honestly weren't sure what to do with him. Toward the end of the recording sessions, Poncia asked him to come in and add some harmonies on selected songs. They didn't go very well either. Peter had talked with Bill and Ace, and they agreed that he needed another chance, no matter the consistent torture he put us through. He wanted to come in and show how different he was. This is what my dick looks like when it's soft. So we set up a meeting at SIR Rehearsal Studios in New York, and at the appointed time Peter appeared, carrying a music stand, the kind that symphony orchestra players have, with a clip for the sheet music. He looked very serious and intense. Peter couldn't read or write music, not then and not now. But by that time he was so delusional that he thought if he had a music stand, he could convince us that he had changed. I'm surprised he didn't bring a baton. "You guys," he said, "I've completely changed my life around. I've been studying drums and music for the past 6 months, and I can read music. I'm completely better." I looked at the music sheets incredulously, and then at him. "Can you read and write music, Peter?" "Sure," he said, then mumbled something, but I couldn't make head or tail of it. Then we started playing, and he was worse than ever. So after much deliberation, everybody, including Ace, voted him out of the band. We never said that Peter was thrown out of the band because he was a drug addict. We never said that Peter was close to tone deaf and didn't play drums very well. we wouldn't have done that to him, to the fans, or to ourselves. Kiss had always been about the fans, and we had always been the quintessential American band, of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is what my dick looks like when it's soft. So we needed a place where we could put up a suit-proof convention, a place where I didn't have to staff up and hire personnel to take care of parking, catering, and so forth. I contacted Tommy Thayer, the guitarist-songwriter from the group Black and Blue. I said to him, "I'd like to offer you a job, but I'm not sure what it will entail. It may start off with me asking you to get me some coffee. And if you're going to say I don't do windows, you better tell me no now, because whatever has to be done, including getting the coffee, is what you'll do." Tommy didn't even blink. He just rolled up his sleeves and said, "Okay, what do you want to do?" I invited Peter to come down to the convention. Before the convention, we got together and rehearsed with Peter. He tried playing drums, but it was substandard. So Eric Singer decided to play the drums behind Peter, while Peter just got up on a stool and sang. I looked across the stage and thought it was a real shame that Peter's other problems had prevented him from doing his best for the band and for himself. Direct communication with Ace and Peter was always difficult. Neither of them had people skills, and they never answered their phones. Peter always had a roadie who would be his mouthpiece, and Ace always liked to have a manager or a keeper around him. For 15 years, I explained, we'd gotten along fine. We had made Kiss into a very big international band, without makeup, without Ace, and without Peter. The only way we would even think about letting the two of them back in was under an employment agreement. We were not interested in being partners. If Ace wanted to come on board, we'd be happy to have him. We offered the same to Peter. This is what my dick looks like when it's soft.